Danielle Hunter has been at the forefront of a lot of trade rumors and trade speculation these past few weeks because the Vikings started out the season 2-4. Wasn't looking good. Going against the San Francisco 49ers, probably assuming they're going to lose. They don't. Okay, we moved to 3-4 on the season, and I'm screaming, please do not trade Danielle Hunter. He is a cornerstone piece to that defense that has a lot of young guys. Our secondary stepping up in a massive way. Harrison Smith causing fumbles, Cam Bynum getting fourth quarter picks, 2 of them to be exact. I mean, we have got to keep as many people on the roster that we currently have as possible because, look, if we can make a playoff push, we're going to need our superstars when the time gets down to needing a win, needing to continue to move forward, to try to push towards a Super Bowl. But these trade talks are still happening. There's rumors swirling around that he still could get dealt. Teams are calling, but it doesn't seem like the Vikings are answering or at least wanting to trade Danielle Hunter, which means that if a trade does happen, it's going to have to break the bank. Now, Jeremy Fowler dove through this situation and kind of laid out why Minnesota might not trade him or why we might get a massive deal in order to get or in order to pry Danielle Hunter from our hands. So this article basically starts by saying the NFL or the National Football League trade deadline is not 11, it's a couple days ago that they wrote this, 6 days away. And Minnesota Vikings outside linebacker, pass rusher Danielle Hunter continues to be the talk of the league. Now, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler spoke to multiple individuals around the league, and the sense is that it would take a sizable deal to pry him from the Vikings. This is what he wrote. But three-time Pro Bowl pass rusher Danielle Hunter is a player that several execs are watching closely. If available, he would have a big market. A few teams pointed out to me that his reworked one-year deal or bridge deal at $17 million carries $10 million in base salary. Modest for a player of his caliber and flexible for trade purposes. Now, here's my understanding on Minnesota and Hunter. The Vikings gauged interest in the offseason when they didn't have a new deal as a contingency plan if they couldn't re-sign him. That was the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were actually really close to trading for Danielle Hunter. However, we ended up getting a deal worked out with him. So that didn't happen. Now, lately, they have not been exploring a trade for Hunter despite some external interest. So we haven't been exploring any trades for Danielle Hunter at all. Okay, so that has to say something. That speaks volumes, right? Now, and there's a sentiment in the building that Hunter, who leads the league in sacks, is valuable for a team that isn't out of it yet. We definitely aren't out of it at all. Okay, we still have a chance to make the playoffs. I believe we're only a half game out of the playoffs as it stands at week 8. Okay, so think about that for a second. It follows up with saying, so the sense is it would take a sizable deal to pry him. One league exec who's very high on Hunter said he's not in the position to give up a first rounder for him, suggesting that might be what it would take to get Danielle Hunter from the Minnesota Vikings. And that's exactly what I would assume. Dude's an absolute monster on the field. He gets sacks at a high rate. I mean, the league leader in sacks. The dude is an absolute animal. It's going to take a lot to get Danielle Hunter away from the Minnesota Vikings, and I really hope that it doesn't happen. Now, Fowler also mentioned that Danielle Hunter was a player that the Jaguars targeted in the preseason. They also have been linked to Hunter multiple times over the last couple of weeks. We talked about it not too long ago, I do believe. Now, the Vikings trading him would be an admission that they either don't want to re-sign him or they don't believe they will be able to after modifying his contract multiple years in a row. It would also be an admission that they don't believe the season is going anywhere. Nobody could fault them after a disastrous start at 2-4 that could end up being worse by the trade deadline. Now, buckle up. These rumors aren't going to be slowing down. However, I do believe they're slowing down. Okay, because the Vikings aren't looking to trade Danielle Hunter. We're maybe taking calls and listening to see what might happen if we want to take some of the deals. However, we still have a chance, okay? And that means keeping the superstars around the building. If they trade Danielle Hunter, that's basically the front office saying, yeah, our season's over and done with. There's really nothing we can do. Let's punt the season. Let's go into the draft. Let's focus for next year. Let's, get some more key pieces with the capital that we'll get from Danielle Hunter. I don't see them trading Hunter, and I don't want them to trade Danielle Hunter because that is just going to not only suck the soul out of all of us fans, but tell us that there's no hope. And there should be hope. The Vikings are good enough to go on a run. We just beat the 49ers. I don't care if they're banged up or not. That's still a very, very good defense. And our offense showed without a Justin Jefferson that we're capable of being explosive, that we're capable of scoring points on a regular basis. Okay, that's what we seen Monday night. So trading Danielle Hunter, in my opinion, would be pure stupidity at this point, and they shouldn't trade him. They shouldn't even listen to the calls unless they think they can get something in return, like a sizable deal. And I'm talking maybe a first round or maybe multiple first round picks, a first and a second, and a player. I have no idea, but I don't want the Minnesota Vikings to trade Danielle Hunter just because there's still a chance to make the playoffs. So you guys can let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do we trade Danielle or do we keep him? Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of your night, folks, and Skol Vikes.